Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Peter here. If you could let me know in the description down below if you can tell a difference in quality from this video in terms of picture quality and sound. I would really appreciate some feedback at the end of the video. If you can tell if this video has a better image and sound than all my previous ones. This is being filmed on a brand new camera and microphone, and I just want to see whether or not that kind of reflects into the actual end product being better. So let me know if you could, I'd really appreciate that. This review is all about Atelier Cologne. I bought their discovery pack, like the biggest one. It's like 25, 27 fragrances that they send you, each with a postcard. So unfortunately they're not sprays, they're dab-ons, but they don't even have a dab stick, so they're a bit awkward. But you know, I did my best. The ones I'm going to be covering in this video are Vanille Insensee and Ambre Nue. So first up was Vanille Insensee, which translates into senseless vanilla or insane vanilla. It doesn't actually mean incense, which I think some people kind of get mistaken with. There's no incense notes in here at all. So This is an okay fragrance. It didn't blow me away. It kind of smells like a dry, dusty vanilla. That's what it kind of smells like. It has a texture of dust to it, like old dust. Similar in aspect to like the pages of a book kind of dust, like you get from Memoirs of a Trespasser. That kind of vibe going on where it just smells like aged and kind of old and dusty. And it has lime in the opening. You get like a zesty kind of lime for about 10-15 minutes with that sort of powdering of vanilla. There's a little bit of a woodiness, like a very, very mild oak, but it's mainly just this sort of dusty old vanilla to my nose, and that is kind of it, to be honest. To my nose, I honestly really don't smell much going on here. It smells very simple and just lacks a bit of depth and character to my nose. It's just missing something. It just needs more of something. It's pleasant enough. It just doesn't really grab my attention. Like when I wore it, I didn't, you know, I wasn't interested in particularly smelling my hand through the day to test it. It didn't drive me to do that. Whereas if I like a fragrance, I'm actually sniffing it throughout the day constantly. With this one, I didn't get that, so it just lacks a little bit of magic for me. There wasn't really a whole lot of development apart from that lime disappearing. It's just this dusty, sort of vaguely oaky kind of vanilla. Yeah, that's kind of pretty much it for the entire fragrance. It just tones down. In terms of performance, I'm hitting about 5 hours longevity. With only about an hour of projection, it doesn't really push off that far on my skin. But it's okay for about an hour, and then it just comes very close to the skin and just becomes more of like a personal skin scent. It just doesn't really grab my attention all that much, although I could see a lot of people liking this. If you're into more unusual vanilla smells, then this might be worth checking out. So next up was Ambre Nue. And hold on. Yeah, so in the opening of this you get like a mandarin kind of orange. You've got labdamen and benzoin, like amber accords. It's quite nice. It doesn't blow me away. There's very little cinnamon to my nose. Cinnamon is in the note breakdown, but it definitely doesn't scream cinnamon to me. If there's cinnamon, it's just a very, very slight amount, just a really, really bit of a tad, a little bit. When it develops into the mid of this fragrance, you get a little bit of the orchid note. There's like florals in here. Just slight though. I mean, again, it doesn't scream out, it's just a little bit of it. But what gets me, which turns me off with this fragrance, is I just get a hint of patchouli. And it's just like that kind of dirty, kind of slightly earthy, the bad kind of patchouli. I just get kind of an underlining note of it. It's not particularly dominant or strong, there's just like an undercurrent of it in the background that just gives it this sort of dirty kind of hippie kind of smell, which patchouli puts me off 95% of the time. I don't like it. There's very few patchouli fragrances that I like. You know, they've got to be quite a clean patchouli and blended well with other things. This one, the underlining vibe that it gives off is just that kind of a little bit skanky and dirty, earthy smelling. I don't think it's particularly a resinous fragrance. Like it's not like smelling Amber Absolute or, you know, all these sort of heavy amber fragrances. You don't get anywhere near that kind of level of amberness. You know what I mean? It's not overly amber based in my opinion. It's just kind of toned right down into something a little bit softer and just less. It's just, again, it's lacking in something for me. There's just something that could be a little bit better. Performance was about 5 hours again, with only about an hour's projection, a little bit soft. I'd say this is even slightly softer than the vanilla or the Vanille Insensee, just a bit. It doesn't seem to push off as much. Personally, I wouldn't wear either of them for my own taste, but I've got like 20 plus more to go through, so off to a little bit of a disappointing start for me personally. Excited to test out more of them. This is just the first two, but yeah, for these two I would give them both a miss personally, but you know, each to their own. I'm sure lots of people love these. They're just not grabbing my attention, but I'll keep trying. Every time I do an Atelier Cologne sample, I'll probably do 2 at a time, just because of how many I've got to go through. So yeah, let me know about the quality, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye guys.